Hey everybody, this is James from All Outdoors, and today we'll be having a look at a classic but somewhat forgotten second generation double action revolver. This is the Colt New Police, and it's chambered in 32 Colt New Police. More on that cartridge later, but first, let's shoot a little bit. Before Colt offered their first swing-out cylinder revolver in 1889, most revolvers were slow gate loaders or weak break-action designs. The swing-out cylinder and hand ejection allowed for stronger cartridges of the former and the rapid reloading of the latter. In 1896, Smith & Wesson developed their own revolver with such a design and chambered it in the 32 Smith & Wesson long cartridge. It was a small revolver intended for police work. Bear in mind that cops back then did their patrolling on foot, and the public was a lot less keen on seeing openly armed police, so police, particularly in urban areas, packed surprisingly small handguns. To answer Smith & Wesson, Colt debuted the New Police revolver that same year. It even copied the cartridge, calling it the 32 Colt New Police, to avoid giving Smith any free publicity. Theodore Roosevelt, then the commissioner of the NYPD, selected the Colt New Police revolver for his officers in a bid to establish the first true marksmanship standards of their kind in the nation. Subsequently, Colt 32s, like the New Police and the later Police Positive, were standard police equipment up through the Great Depression. The Colt New Police came in a few different barrel lengths. This one is a 4-inch barrel. It wears a fixed half-moon front sight and a very narrow rear sight. The New Police carries the Model 1889's pullback style cylinder release that would be refined later and is still in use today by Colt. The New Police also has the exposed ejector rod that would come to define all pre-World War II Colt revolvers. The general lockwork used on the New Police is almost unchanged from what you find from a modern Colt revolver. The only difference is the lack of a true hammer block safety. The New Police has a rebounding hammer, but that is it. The Colt Police Positive that replaced the New Police in 1907 took care of that issue. The Police Positive would go on to be a movie and law enforcement icon, but about 50,000 New Police models were made. Not bad at all. Okay, I have the Colt New Police loaded up with some PPU 98 grain round nose lead 32 Smith & Wesson long. We have some clean targets at 7 yards. We're going to go ahead and see how we do. And the time that this particular handgun was issued, the best shots were normally categorized as people who took bullseye shooting very seriously, so that's one-handed, single action. We're going to go ahead and start with that, and then we're going to try some double action. So I'm going to cock the hammer. And this is a small grip. So I'm going to go ahead and give it a go. Pull that one a little high. The double action, or rather the single action trigger pull, there isn't much travel to it, but it's a bit heavy. Recoil is not bad, but a little more substantial than you think because it's a smaller handgun. And just open up the cylinder, pulling that latch back, go skyward with it, and just hit that ejector rod, and your empties come right out. I have another clean target on the right side. Let's go ahead and do a little bit of double action with both hands, just to see how I do. I generally shoot double action a bit better, and this one is pretty smooth for what it is, so go ahead and give it a go. Let me get my rounds out. Okay, let's go ahead and give it a go. Typical Colt double action, it stacks to the heaviest at the very rear end of the trigger pull, but not bad at all. Let's go have a look. Okay, here are our results at 7 yards. Overall, not bad. A little bit of a group on the left side with our single action. Definitely on the right side with the double action, that's some good accuracy. Even though the trigger pull is heavier and longer, I could definitely hold a good group with that. And for what it's worth, the 32 Smith & Wesson long was, for the longest time, the competition cartridge. From your left to right, 22 long rifle, 32 Smith & Wesson long, and 9mm Luger. You can see the 32 is not the smallest or largest round. Today we would consider it to be underpowered for police work, but in its time it was relatively powerful for a pocket pistol cartridge. Its low recoil and accuracy definitely helped urban cops shoot better. Then, like now, power is not everything, and it's effectively useless if you can't hit what you're aiming at. Curiously enough, the 32 long has endured as a bullseye and target cartridge. Alright folks, I have a Colt New Police revolver chambered in 32 Colt New Police, otherwise known as the 32 Smith & Wesson long. Here's some PPU, 98 grain on those leaded rounds. We have our little 8-inch plate. Go and give this old girl a bit of a workout. Now the serial number on this one was dated to 1907, or rather 1903. So this is an old girl with small sights, but the very beginnings of the modern double action revolver in this tiny little package right here. Hand ejector. One of the first of its kind. Let's go ahead and move back a little bit. That was around 5 yards. Let's lit up 6 more. And we're closer to 15 yards. Let's move back a little more. See what we can do at 25. Then I got 6 more shells. Alright. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. We're at an honest 25 yards, and my pocket is empty, so that's 6 more rounds. Let's go and try a little bit of single action. Go just cock that hammer. Hammer's quite small, but the target's big enough, but these sights are very, very small, very hard to see. And I missed. I had to aim a good bit low there. Yeah, about 6 inches low, because it's hard to see these sights, especially that front sight in that rear notch. But that's the Colt New Police. Very interesting little handgun.